At law school, we learned about proximate cause, one of the few valuable concepts you can take from 3 years of drudgery. It's about who and what caused the injury and who pays for it. The current stock market lends itself to proximate causes, as in, we have to find a cause for the pronounced downturn that could lead tech, and more specifically, supermicro, down the rabbit hole. If you can figure out the proximate cause of a 23% decline in the heretofore best-performing stock in the S&P 500 this year, you might be able to come to grips with what's happening in the market underneath. Of course, the difference between this collapse, which doesn't seem over, and real life. There is no insurance, the bedrock payer, when you figure out who's at fault in the market. Or is there? Let me explain. On Friday, Supermicro, a server and data storage company, committed the mortal sin of announcing when it was going to report quarterly earnings. On April 30th. Nowhere in the press release for this vital cog in the generative artificial intelligence boom was there a pre-announcement of its latest results, the lack of which became the rallying call to knock a stock to $713 from $877 during the session. Let's not forget the stock dropped another 3% in after-hours trading. But was that the proximate cause? Supermicro shares had already fallen from a peak of $1,229 on March 8, so you can't pin the tail on skipping the pre-announcement. No, the real proximate cause, the one that's really at fault, was the February unemployment report, which came out on March 8. It's a day that should live in tech infamy, the day Nvidia rallied 5% to its peak only to fall 5% into the close. One of the worst reversals I have ever seen. Nvidia shares opened at $951, climbed to a yearly high of $974, and closed at $875. It hasn't traded higher since. At the time, many thought the proximate cause of Nvidia's pirouette was the performance of two chipmaker peers. Marvell Technology missed its revenue numbers and fell far short of its projections for AI equipment. That seemed pretty benign, but not when combined with news from club stock Broadcom, which provided an outlook that didn't include a revenue raise. Given that Broadcom and Marvell are key cogs in getting AI to customers and they compete against each other, the only logical conclusion was that generative AI might be slowing. Both stocks tumbled hard. Marvell CEO Matt Murphy talked about how AI equipment was pretty strong but not strong enough to offset the decline in classic tech infrastructure including cell phones. When your company is thought to be earning 40 cents and it comes in at 23 cents, it's disturbing, and it turned out to be a metaphor for all of AI. Surely those two updates couldn't be the proximate cause of the peak of Nvidia, right? Correct. Because that day was also the day the non-farm payroll report came in hot and right after Federal Reserve Chairman Jay Powell signaled he was ready to cut interest rates.